So, I don't know if you guys have heard about this story yet. It's been blowing up all over social media recently. And quite frankly, I think it's pretty disgusting that this even happened in the first place. But regardless, an officer, a very high ranked officer of the NYPD, gave a command out in a roll call the other day to shoot 50 Cent, yes, the rapper, the celebrity, on sight. And overall, I don't want this to be some type of anti cop video. I want to disclose that right away. I, for the most part, believe that 99.9% of officers do the right thing, have good morals, and risk their lives on a daily basis and also do their job, which is to protect the public, right? But there are that small sliver, that small percentage that can really ruin it for the rest of everybody else, ruin the identity of police officers and ruin their image. And that's exactly what this police officer has done with this story. And I also will leave the article down in the description below if you do want to go check it out. But there's a variety of different things that actually make this story so wrong. And it wasn't even going to blow up, but an officer involved with the roll call reported it and also told 50 Cent about this issue and warned him. And 50 took it to Twitter that he's going to be taking some type of legal lawsuit or legal action against the officer involved, as well as the NYPD, right? So overall, I think this case can be winnable, or I guess if that's a word, but also attainable for 50 Cent to win in this case. And there's a variety of different parts of this story that I'm going to mention to you right now that even make it more winnable or attainable. And 50 Cent could walk away a very rich man. So the first thing is that this officer, whose name is Emmanuel Gonzalez, is a commander of a particular area in Brooklyn. And he's also labeled as a deputy inspector, which is a very high rank to my knowledge. So overall, this officer had a very high authority, still has a very high authority over the officers that are below him, that are ranked below him, right? And a lot of these officers could have abided by or abide by his rules. And they could have potentially shot 50 Cent when this command was given out in this roll call. And that could have been a potentially very fatal incident and could have blown up all over social media even more than this story, right? And just thank God for, the fact that 50 Cent is still alive right now. And that's one of the main focal points. But another really shady part of this story was that the commander is now trying to cover himself by saying that he wanted to pass this off as a joke in a roll call. And going back to my previous point, the fact that you're a high-ranked officer means you should probably set a really good example for the officers below your authority and also the same ones at your authority, right? I mean, if you're trying to joke about shooting somebody over a call where some officers may take that seriously, that just doesn't make any sense. And that's where I believe, this case can be, won by 50 and his legal team. And another really weird thing about this story was the fact that this officer apparently still has his badge and his gun, and 50 also made it very apparent that this is still a problem on Twitter. Nothing's been done by the NYPD, no action has been taken, there hasn't been any type of demotion, any type of stripping of the badge of the officer, Emmanuel Gonzalez. And, to my knowledge and the way I interpret this as, is that, there's a criminal at large, essentially. This guy could be potentially out to get 50. I'm assuming that, 50 Cent has a lot of security guards in between himself and any type of threat, right? But, this is a very serious issue. And like I said, I don't think all cops are bad, but this one particular officer is ruining the image of the NYPD. And, I've been in New York City before. I've been in the New York area before. It can get very busy, very hectic, but this really does not need to happen, especially when 50 has not even done anything wrong, and that's probably one of the main things that can also help 50 win. He's done a lot of philanthropy work. He's donated to a lot of schools and charities. He's done a lot of things with his wealth that even make him more of a good person. Even worse, the fact that this cop tried to go out of his way to get him and to shoot him fatally is just so immoral, unethical, and I want this officer to get everything that he truly deserves. I mean, He's done nothing right in this case. He's going to lose the lawsuit, and he's going to have a lot of people banging at his door just from, I would, interpret this even maybe possibly as a hate crime. But, I'm not trying to spread any rumors. This is just a very, very shady thing for a very high ranked officer to do. He's abusing his authority, and this is just a very, very sad thing. And honestly, guys, like, I like 50's music. I work out to his music all the time. He's, a very influential figure, not only, in the past, but also now with all the good deeds that he's been doing. And it just doesn't make any sense to me that, he hasn't even done anything wrong, and some officer just decided, hey, I want him shot. And this is even more scary, the fact that any type of officer can essentially say this and do this. And a lot of the times it will not get reported to the correct person or the target or the potential victim, right? I mean, since 50 is such a large figure, a big celebrity, I'm sure, a certain group of police officers went to his door and said, hey, just warning you, this guy said, he wants you shot or something like that, right? And, this could happen more frequently than we, think or believe. And overall, I don't think this happens, all the time, but it's kind of scary to think that other officers can potentially do this. And overall, I think, 50 can walk away a pretty rich man just from the things that I've mentioned previously. The fact that this officer is highly ranked, he tried to pass it off as a joke, and the fact that he still has a badge and, has authority in the NYPD is very concerning. I'm assuming that, the NYPD is going to come out with some type of statement within the next 48 hours or so. But regardless, 50 is going to be taking legal action, and he's going to walk away a very, very rich man. Not to mention that he's kind of already wealthy in the first place. He worked for it, but he's even going to get more money out of this incident. And, kudos to him. He's had his life threatened. Like, I don't blame him for taking action. And I think it's just really crazy that this even happened in the first place. But most of all, I want to hear your comments down below. Do you think, 50 Cent's going to win this lawsuit? How much money do you think he's going to win in this case? And overall, do you think that the officer should get demoted or completely stripped of his badge and his gun? Do you also think this was trying to be some type of joke or interpreted as a joke? I highly doubt it, but overall, this is the case, and I hope you all did enjoy. Don't forget to drop a like, and subscribe if you are new to the channel. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We're almost there. We're so close, but could use all the support from you guys. And yeah, I'm Cryptix, and I'm signing off.